Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to build a €400 budget gaming PC. The PC has an RTX 2070 as the GPU and a Ryzen 7 2700X for the CPU. It has 16 gigs of RAM and all of that is combined in a beautiful fish tank like case. And without further ado, let's get into building. I choose the RTX 2070 for the main GPU because it is RTX capable, so you can play those games that force you to have an RTX GPU like Doom the Dark Ages, Assassin's Creed Shadows and Indiana Jones The Great Circle, so that you can play all of these. And the RTX 2070 is a very powerful GPU which can handle pretty much any game in 1080p and is fairly cheap. I got mine for about €130. And the CPU, the Ryzen 7 2700X, I chose that one because it was fairly cheap and it came with a cooler in that eBay bundle that I bought for it. So it was really a no-brainer. The CPU itself, we're going to have a little bit of a CPU bottleneck in some games, but in most games we should be fine, and that's why I chose the CPU. If you want to replicate this build, I would recommend that you choose like a Ryzen 5 5500 or something, because so that you don't run into a CPU bottleneck and you can upgrade the GPU more easily to something like an RTX 3080 or even higher end GPUs really. But what's great about this system is it's only aimed for platforms, so you can easily put a high-end CPU in there and a high-end GPU, and you got yourself a pretty dang good system without replacing all of your components, like you would if I would have bought an Intel CPU for the system. As for the operating system, I wanted to go with Windows 11 Pro this time because I wanted to test some shooter games, and because I'm going to flip this PC for some profit. And if you want to flip a PC for profit, Windows is pretty much the go-to. But if you build an AMD system, then you have pretty good chances that you can sell it with Linux on it, especially with like Bearside, because Bearside has a game mode like the Steam Deck, and then you could sell it as like a home console or something. But with an Nvidia GPU and with a case that is like this, you should be choosing Windows to flip the PC. You're gonna get way better pricing for it. As for the games that I'm going to benchmark today with this computer, I wanted to benchmark Shadow of the Tomb Raider because it's a pretty demanding game. Even though it's pretty old, this game got announced as the first game that has RTX in it, even though it was just RTX Shadows. Just to see how good this card would have performed if you bought it like back in the day when it came out. And I wanted to test Forza Horizon 5 as well, and the new Battlefield 6 Battle Royale mode, just so that you can see how this graphics card in the system in general performs in Battlefield 6. And now that we have all of the necessary things out of the way, let's get straight into benchmarking. Of the Tomb Raider, we're playing at 1080p highest settings, and we're just gonna run the build and benchmark just to see how our FPS are going. Here's the results that we got. We got an average FPS of 89, which is very good. The lowest point was when the benchmark was in the city. Because of the lot of NPCs, we got a little bit of a CPU bottleneck. But yeah, I'd say these are very good results for this game. But I mean, Shadow of the Tomb Raider was advertised with the RTX 20 series, so no wonder it runs that well. The next game on the list is Forza Horizon 5. We are playing at 1080p. Unlocked frame rate, of course. No upscaling is utilized. And in terms of graphics, we're on pretty much maximum settings. And as you can see, we're getting above 60 FPS. And that's a complete maximum settings. I'd say that's pretty good. Over 70. And I think if you would utilize a little bit of DLSS upscaling, you could easily enable ray traced reflections on the cars to make it look a bit prettier, and you would still get above 60. And we're gonna test this as well soon. But right now I just want to see how well our frame rate is. Yeah, we're getting 70s. Yeah. We dropped very rare from 74. At the start we were dropping from 70 a little bit. But right now, even in the 80s, oh, pretty good. Yeah, but Forza Horizon 5 is a pretty well optimized title, so no wonder we are getting that high FPS. So let's see if we can boost our FPS even more by getting some DLSS going on. Let's say DLSS quality. And let's see how we're doing with DLSS quality. And not much of an improvement actually. 90s. Oh, well. We were dropping a lot from 80. And now we're almost always in the 90s. So, pretty good. But let's test the extreme ray tracing preset. You know what, let's turn everything to the max and see how it runs. Everything on extreme and ultra. Oh, I need to restart the game. Here we are back in Forza Horizon 5. We are playing at completely maxed out settings, ray tracing also on extreme, with DLSS quality enabled. And let's get right into it and see what our performance is looking. And our performance is looking pretty decent. Dropping a bit into the 50s. Or looks like we're staying into the 50s. But still, this is completely maxed ray tracing on a 70 class ray tracing card, which is also the first lineup that introduced ray tracing back in the day with the 20 series. And this card can handle Forza Horizon 5 in completely maxed out settings with ray tracing enabled at almost 60 FPS. So if you would lock the FPS to something like 50 or something, you could get a pretty decent experience, and it doesn't feel that bad with the input lag and stuff like that. And now we're getting above 60 again. So yeah, this card can definitely handle it. Which is pretty impressive to see. I mean, this is a first gen RT core card that released back in 2019, I think. So it's pretty impressive that it can handle maxed out Forza Horizon 5 with ray tracing. The last game that I wanted to test in this video was the Battle Royale mode on Battlefield 6. I was playing at the high settings preset, and I was getting over 60 FPS almost the entire time. And if you want to get a little bit more FPS, you could easily turn down those settings and get a more competitive experience, because most people are not playing on high settings in a competitive shooter anyways. Now it's time for the conclusion of the video. This PC can play everything that you throw at it. The RTX 2070 is a great GPU, and the AM4 platform is perfect for upgradability and such. So you could easily, if you do a BIOS update on the mainboard, you could easily put in 7800 X3D or something in there, and you would be fine putting a 4090 in this system. So you can upgrade this thing to be a high-end gaming computer. It also has 4 RAM slots, so you could easily go to 32 or 64 gigs of RAM, which is very cool, but I don't think that you're gonna do that if you copy that build, because RAM prices are, well, not at their best right now. Well, if you liked the video, you can feel free to give it a thumbs up, and see you guys in the next one. Bye.